just have to make a comment about Chunky B. Have you ever seen him looking so good?
The panel then includes actress Lainey Kazan, comedian Chunky B, and Playboy TV host Julie Strain. Chunky?
What was the question?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Chunky B. You're watching 1 Degree of Chunky B in the Garage of Love. And it's week in and week out, I'm very proud of each of these programs, and I'm so psyched that you guys are listening. But I'm very happy. Tonight is one of the nights I've been waiting for, and I'm not going to kiss his ass too much, but 6 fucking months. Ladies and gentlemen, before I introduce the guest of in the Garage of Love, give it up for the Wizard of the Knobs, Travis Spencer.
The knobs. Hey, Chunky, I love the pictures, by the way. Nice addition.
Did you notice?
Nice addition.
Hey, Chad Smith, thank you for sending. We've got a fan. It's actually, that was a gift.
Very nice, Chad Smith. Thank you, Chad Smith.
Thank you, Chad Smith. Hey, you guys, if you are dead, you may not have heard about the Los Angeles Kings winning the Cup twice in 3 years. The man that rocks the Staples Center within there entertains. When you look up at the big screen and you see that super good-looking dude that's smooth and sassy, that's the guy that's in the Garage of Love right now. Please give it up for Jay Flats.
Yes, hello.
All right.
This is more like the Garage of Lust. There's some dirty things that have happened in this garage.
And you've been part of it. Hey, guys, check this out. Jay Flats, you and I have known each other for, how long?
About 13, a little more than 13 years. I'm your age when I met you at Change of Heart.
We met at Change of Heart.
Change of Heart was the first time I saw you.
That dating game show that was over at Telepictures.
Uh-huh.
And you were running the audience.
Yep.
And I was running the...
I actually sat in the audience and then got a job running the audience.
I did not know that.
Uh-huh.
So you were an audience member, and then you're watching me do my warm-up, and I know what you're thinking. Fuck, I can do that. Because that's what I did when I wanted to be a warm-up guy. So you got a job as an audience, what they call a wrangler.
Yeah, on-camera audiences. I was there for 5 years telling adults, oh, I'm sorry, you can't go to the bathroom.
Man, do you remember some of the shows we used to do that we held the audience hostage?
Oh, my God. We had somebody call the cops one night because it was like 3:30 in the morning. This girl told the LAPD that we were being held hostage inside a television studio. But we broke about 10, 15 minutes later, and the audience was like pretty much gone, and then the cops showed up.
Perfect timing.
They're like, is there a hostage situation?
Yeah, okay. So I know you guys know this, and people are watching and listening to the podcast. You know that I'm a warm-up guy. And when I met Jay Flats, he was helping the audience come in, and then you and I became great friends. And it's very difficult for...
It was the whiskey that got us together.
Oh, speaking of, let's talk about our new sponsor, Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace for all your straight bourbon whiskey needs.
Not your gay bourbon whiskey needs.
Your
Kentucky straight.
And I want to let you guys know how psyched I am. Here's the notes that I put together when I knew Jay Flats was going to be on the 1 Degree of Chunky B. 0. Okay? This is how much I love Jay Flats, and I've got so much to talk about, and I don't even need to write anything down.
I wrote one thing.
You did already?
Garcetti F-bomb. Let's talk about it later.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you know something? We're going to bounce around, but let's talk about how much fun you must have been having all year at the Kings.
They never quit. I love working for this team. 6 seasons I've been with this team. Love these guys.
How'd you get the gig?
I spent half a season on the ice crew, just, throwing out the T-shirts and hyping up the crowd.
Right.
But I spoke up and said, there's nobody doing the in-arena hosting. There was nobody. It was just legendary David Courtney, the PA announcer who was there for decades.
Sure.
He would always say, look over there. That's what's going on. So I was like, I want to be that guy that they're like, hey, look over at Jay. He's doing something. The go-to guy.
And it was you were the springboard into that idea of giving away stuff and putting people on the big screen?
Well, we have this great game entertainment staff.
Yep.
The amazing staff that I work for out there. And it was just part of a building process. Like they had just added Bailey, the mascot.
Yep.
They had just added the ice crew element. Like they were getting a little bit of a budget. Like, let's get more interactive with the fans. Let's build that fan base, which has become so huge now. Huge.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You are a major freaking celebrity in the Staples Center.
Medium time. I'm medium time. Medium time. I'll stick with that.
But I tell you what, love, first of all, thank you for every time I text you, I said, I got a friend over in this seat.
Sure.
You always make time, bring a T-shirt. You make me look good. Let's talk about the babes. Let's talk about the babes that you work with, the girls on the ice.
We've got like the hardest working promo team in the league. They do over like 400 appearances a year. Wow. They're everywhere. Everything from like USO to like kids' playgrounds or whatever. Like they're everywhere.
How do they give you your freedom? Do they not? They don't hold you down and say, "Listen, we don't want you doing other gigs," because I know some times you have other gigs.
Sure.
They give you the freedom.
Well, it's I've been there for so long now that
Right.
this season they gave me the opportunity to have a co-host work with me. And this girl, Carlin, who was on the ice crew for 5 years,
Yep.
she spoke up. They gave her a chance. Now she's doing it co-hosting with me because I know that, I told my boss, it's like, hey, look, I love this gig. It's my favorite gig, but I got other stuff going on. So, like, she came on this year as a co-host, so that way we split the duties. And, like, I missed a bunch of the playoff games because I was working on this game show that I'm doing.
Which we will talk about.
Which we'll talk about. It opened up the doors for my co-host to actually shine this year because it's a great spotlight job in front of 18,000. And some of the people in that building are the most powerful building. You look to your left, Jerry Bruckheimer's there. You look to your right, Bob Saget. Well, maybe he's not a great example, but but Bob Saget was a TV warm-up guy. I talked to Bob about he used to do Bosom Buddies.
Did he really?
He was the warm-up guy on Bosom Buddies.
Jay Leno used to do Welcome Back, Carter.
Do the warm-up on Connor?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that funny?
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Let's talk more about how intense is the Staples Center playoff time with the Kings. Is it now LA? Everyone's talking about that dynasty stuff, but inside with the enthusiasm, does it go up against the Rangers? Does it go up against the Blackhawks? As far as the power, I don't know if you've been in those venues, but people are starting to brag that LA gets it now.
Yeah, there's been rumors or talk about like the East Coast hockey is just better and louder, and they've called the fans in LA not as loud, or it's just not the same. But like what the Kings have been able to do in the last 2 or 3 years, those just ridiculous runs to the Cup, breaking records, doing it as an 8th seed, or winning like this year 3 Game 7s on the road each time. Like the fan base is just building and building and building, and there are diehard fans that have been there since day one, sitting in the same seats.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite things. Is when I show up every night, I go to certain sections because I know Mark's sitting there to the left. The Van Lannen family's over here to the right. Their kids are 16 now. They were 10 when I started working there, so their kids are driving now. And like I'll show up and they're like, Uncle Jay's here. They just call me Uncle Jay,
right?
Because I've probably given them McFlurries or Wetzel's pretzel T-shirts or whatever, or I've let them do the roster challenges where they got to name all the players on the jumbotron and stuff.
Yeah, I gotta jump in, and Travis, I gotta tell you, a couple years ago, Jay gives me a T-shirt, and I'm all excited. He meets me at the seat, and I got a Kings T-shirt, and I open it up, and it's fucking autographed. It's across it. How many people wear a T-shirt with an autograph of the entertainment guy in the Staples Center? If it was maybe a small little, I don't know, a Carter or a King or one of my guys that I love, but people are like, who's that? Well, it's Jay Flats, the guy on the big screen, gives away tickets every once in a while. You might have gotten a McFlurry from him.
I wanted to brand you.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I wanted you to represent because you're a big guy. A lot of people are going to see this.
So you signed it nice and big, right?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Big.
Yeah.
It's always funny, like the player autographs. They sign so many autographs, like you can't really read them. Yeah. And most of the time, you're just looking for the number. You're like, okay, scribble. Oh, Drew Doughty. It's Drew Doughty. But my name, I basically print it out so whose signature. I'm sure at some point I would just scribble. But right now, when I sign something for you,
clear as day.
You know who's. There's never like a. John.
It's like something from Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Man. What's going on next year? Are you going to jump on that train? You going to stay with it? Because I know you got big things that we're going to talk about in a second.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
I've been able to work with like Hall of Famers, like Bob Miller and Jim Fox and Nick Nixon and Darrell Evans, and I took a note from Bob one time. I asked him, how long do you plan on doing this? How long you've been here? Decades, decades. And he goes, "There's never a moment where I'm like, I gotta go to Staples Center tonight. No, that's where he wants to be every night. He's still excited about it. Even after 2 championship runs, I don't think he's done. I think he sees the potential of this team going for another cup run. Maybe in the next 3 to 5 years, they could still be in there, powerhouses every year.
Now, do you put him in the same category as like a Chick Hearn and Vince Scully?
Vince Scully, yeah.
And the Dodgers
It's
are down by 3.
It's a great day for Dodger. I was at the Dodger game. I brought my daughter there last night.
I was there last night too.
You were not.
I was there last night. Yeah. I went last night. Yep.
Where were you sitting?
I was sitting in the Loge 132.
All right. I was
Loge 132. Everybody write that down.
Yeah. I was
My friend Allie works in game entertainment there, so I sat next to her parents. They go all the time. They were on Kiss Cam. She's like, I don't want to be on Kiss Cam.
I can't. Why didn't I just text you? I was down field level, first base side, halfway down.
Because I would have looked at it like, oh man, he wants me to be on his podcast again.
Dick.
I'm out. Ignore this, and then he sees you.
Man, and I'm flashing back to how many times we had some laughs working together. I mean, we did.
We got stuck with some of the most awkward situations you can ask for, and people will never understand what we're talking about because, like, just the weirdest people would come in, like these paid audiences, which are completely different.
And Wizard, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Gary Cannon, you guys talked about.
Gary Cannon was
man.
on this podcast.
My mom flips out when I go home to Connecticut and we're flipping through the channels. I go, Mama, hold on. See that crazy lady behind Judge Judy? I know that lady.
Her name is Sally. You know,
she probably has to go to the bathroom. Look at her.
I know. She's tweaking. Oh man, there is a whole subculture out there that I don't know. We're exposing it or whatever, but I think people are slowly learning more and more about that. It's not all glitz and glamour on these TV shows.
Yeah.
When you can't fill the house, and it's a Dr. Phil. It's
right.
like the doctors. It's a Craig Ferguson. It's all these people that it's difficult to have fans show up every single night. If you're not a Jay Leno, or maybe if on the East Coast you're not a Letterman, the producer's got to be like, oh shit, we got 50 seats empty. You go call the service.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Well, like I remember working on Family Feud. I was growing up as a kid. I was like, man, people love this show. And then I find out it's all paid like school groups that show up, like school groups or church groups or fundraisers, and you're like, wait, there's 65 people in here getting $8 a head for their school. They're getting jerseys for their baseball team or whatever.
It's bizarre.
Oh yeah.
And that's the most difficult. And I know we're going sidetrack because I want to go back to the Kings in a second. But that's the most difficult audience to manage because like, oh, they're getting paid. They're supposed to. The ones that get paid are the worst. And I don't even want to go there.
Yeah,
Look at me, I'm ventilating.
Yeah.
How'd you get the gig? I know you were on the ice. How'd you even get on? You were the ice thing. You were never on skates.
No, I don't skate because
I saw you on the news. I know you don't skate.
Oh, you saw me with Allie McKay in the morning?
Yes.
Yeah. When they give me rental skates, yes, I'm not very good. At 5:45 a.m. when they let Allie go on.
Dude, I was so happy.
Allie, if you're not watching, I don't
Yeah.
Allie, she's great. She's so energetic.
I've met her a couple times. I love her. And she's one of the reasons why I keep dialing in because I always want to see where she is. But you went down there, and you auditioned. You went in and said,
"Okay." There's a great process. They do like a 2-day audition. They want to know if you can skate. It's part of the job. It's part of the job because it's not a cheerleading squad. They're not doing cheers. The ice crew actually skates on the ice and collects the snow that's been generated to make a good clear path. Unless you're in New York and you leave that little pile of snow so the puck doesn't go in when the Kings are in town.
Bam! Man, okay, I'm going to write that down. Let's talk about that puck shot in a second.
Yeah, but our audition for the ice crew, and I had just got off a tour with the Harlem Globetrotters because I left and traveled as a PA announcer for them.
Yep.
So when I got back into LA, I was like, I want to keep sports and entertainment together. And my friend was like, you should audition for the Kings. And I was like, well, I haven't watched hockey in forever because I stopped watching when the Whalers moved to Carolina. I was like, I just stopped watching.
A little bitter?
And yeah, I was a little bitter. Yeah. The whale. And then I spoke up at the right time and said, this is what I want to do. And I remember specifically my boss, this guy, John Adams, who was great. He gave me this opportunity. And in my earpiece, right before he lets me do it for the first time, I have to say, it's time for the Team LA Save of the Game. Everything in the Team LA store. Youth apparel is 30% off tonight. That's all I have to do. And 2 seconds before I get to do it, he goes, all right, so bring Jay's mic up. Don't fuck it up, Jay. Really? And then I did it. Hey, tonight's Team LA save of the game is 30% off all youth apparel. Swing by the Team LA store. 30% off. That's tonight's Team LA save of the game. And that's it. Nice. That's all I had to do.
Nailed it.
And then I shot my way right to the middle.
Right to the middle.
Climbed my way to the middle.
Yeah. Well, just recently I announced in front of 1,200 people, Rhonda Sykes.
Wanda Sykes.
Yeah, I was working for Last Comic Standing, and it was Wanda
Sykes. Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, is that like one of those Braxton Sisters shows?
Yeah.
Like Wanda and Rhonda Sykes?
Yeah, real embarrassing. And I fucked up another name at the Hollywood parade, where they just blocked off a Vine in Hollywood, and it was a big to-do, and I can't remember. It was a big name. I threw an extra syllable in there, and everyone just stares at me. I'm like, no, I did it. It was fine. It was great.
I've had some diehard hockey fans for the Kings that, like, I'll do a trivia question about some guy in the mid-'80s who played like 20 games with the Kings, and I'll say his name wrong during like 3 questions, and one just happens to slip his name in. And I've had guys come up to me afterwards. They're like, "Dude, you're not really a fan, are you?"
Oh man!
And I'm like, "Look, did the guy get all 3 questions right and win the prizes? That's all I care
Fuck
about."
you.
Okay.
Right.
You say tomato, I say Wojciechowski. Okay, whatever it might be. Wojciechowski. There was a guy. The Kings had an Asian goaltender in one game called Fukufuji. Played in one game.
Are you making this up?
No, I'm dead serious. Fukufuji.
All right, this is a great trivia question. Drop it down.
Yeah, Fukufuji played one game for the Kings.
How long ago?
Back in the 90s. Fukufuji.
Okay.
And to this day, people are like, "Don't forget about Fukufuji!" Like, when I'm naming goalies or something like this. Like, because I'm really good with the Kings the last 6 years. You ask me anything about this team in the last 6 years, I'm golden. I've been submerged in the culture. I'm the guy that gets there early, that leaves late. Like, I read all of the press stuff, all of the stats and the info. I get there early. I listen to Bob Miller and Nick Nixon. I listen to these guys because they're pros at what they do. Like, I'm blessed to go down there, and sometimes they'll let me go, like in the third period, put the headset on and just sit there and listen. And then I watch a guy like Nick Nixon who calls the whole game with half a sheet of paper.
How?
He's got his own little notes, and he'll just say, Matt Green out of North Dakota. He's got 2 goals and 3 assists in his last 5 games. He's logged 17 minutes of ice time tonight. Like, he's just got it all on one sheet.
Now, is that something you're going to slip into?
Yes.
Oh, that's your goal?
It's on the list for sure. Like, I think I have a legitimate shot at doing sports broadcasting, but I want to do hockey because it's the hardest sport. Baseball it's first and
Right. You got plenty of time to talk.
First in the Dodgers. You can slow it down. Football is 1st and 10, 2nd and 4. Whatever it might be. Let's look at the replay. Hockey is line change after shift change, in the zone, out of the zone, on the boards, behind the net,
and the names. And the names on top of that are insane, right?
Yeah, you got to be on top of those names for both teams too. You can't just be like, a lot of times you can get away with the Rangers this, the Rangers that. But like I took a note from Bob Miller one time, because I asked him just some advice, and he goes, if you have 2 ways to describe the puck going into the zone, stick with those 2 ways. Yeah. He says too many guys say they flipped it, they skipped it, they moved it, they shoved it,
right.
they tossed it. No, they're moving it into the zone.
Right.
You just stick with that.
You pick the 2, and everyone knows that's your style, that's your cadence. You know who's going to be on the show that already said yes, we just got to nail a date down, is my old friend John Ireland from the Lakers.
Oh, yeah.
And he's, he's got that sports show going on with Mason. Steve Mason.
Does he like Buffalo Trace? Because it's good.
It is good. Man. Yeah. I'll ask him. But he made his way up. Maybe a different angle that you're pursuing.
Yeah.
But you do have to know every member of other teams. Now, do you know that?
Yeah. I mean, when you get to the playoffs, that's when I get to know the other teams, because you've got, like this year, for example, 7-game series. Against the Sharks, against the Ducks, against the Blackhawks. Right. You play 21 games to get to the finals. I could probably name anywhere from 5 to 10 of the guys on the opposite teams. But after 7-game series, you're naming that 3rd D-man that you didn't know was there. You're naming that 4th-line player, because they start scoring, they start hitting, they start getting penalties. Right. You hear their names called.
But how do you pay attention? Because you're running around from area to area in the venue.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times it'll be during a one regular period, there's 3 scheduled TV timeouts. The first whistle that's not icing after the 14-minute mark on the clock. And then the second TV timeout is after 10 minutes on the clock. And then
I did not
6
know
minutes
this.
after the clock. So you'll notice this as you watch hockey games now, that there's a TV timeout, not until there's 14 minutes or less on the clock. So a lot of times they'll blow the whistle, but it's icing. You can't make a change or go to commercial. You got to bring that puck back.
Right.
And wait for a whistle. Or if there's a goal, you can't go to commercial. You got to drop the puck again at center ice and then play it out. So like, for example, a lot of times what we'll do, first period, my first timeout, I go to the top of some section, like 332, and give somebody a seat upgrade. I love it. I make a best friend every single time because I'm taking somebody from the top and putting him in the front row.
You're like Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah.
That's what she does.
Come on. Or I'm like Bob Uecker. I'm older. They're like, going to the front row. Yes, yes. Oh, we must be going to the front row. So I'll do that. So a lot of times I will go up top and I'll listen to Pia Toscano do the anthem.
Yeah.
And she does an amazing job. Pia, I hope you're watching. I'm going to tell you to watch.
Yes.
And so I go up at the start of the game. So I've got 6 minutes to sit there. And so I'll find a great spot. I'll sit in the front row of a section or I'll sit on the top row.
Right.
I'll watch the game for the first 6 minutes until the ice crew shows up, the camera guy with the remote feed camera shows up, and we decide how we're going to set up the shot. I got my 2 winners. They're right here. It's a dad and a son. They've never been down in the 100s to watch a game. I'm moving them tonight.
And that's your call.
Sometimes it's my call. Sometimes it's the ice girl. Sometimes it's Bailey.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll just give Bailey the tickets, and he'll find the rowdiest people. And then
that's
he'll,
awesome.
then he'll get them.
Is Bailey that's a dude?
Yeah. There's only one Bailey, one lion. There's only one guy that does Bailey.
Really?
Yeah.
And he's cool? You like him?
And dude, Bailey's great.
'Cause I like his moves. I like his moves.
Nothing better than watching him dump popcorn on people. Or
Right.
he did a thing the other night where he had a leaf blower with a roll of TP on the end of it, and he turns the leaf blower on and it TPs the person. Like, yeah.
All right, listen to me. We
Yeah.
are not done talking about the Kings.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of other stuff I hope we get to. If we don't get to it, you're coming back.
Okay.
All right?
I'm just
Check it
gonna
out.
I'm gonna sleep here in the garage of love.
Dude, I'll cuddle with you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming right back. All we're going to do is talk about Venice Duck, which is our beer that we've got a keg of it outside. But Buffalo Trace is rocking hard. There goes Flats. There he is. That's the man I love and enjoy. We are going to be right back. Don't go anywhere. But I'll tell you what, text your friends and say, get on his fucking podcast. Flats in the house, in the garage. Bam, we'll be right back. You guys have got to check out our brand new sponsor, Venice Duck Brewery. You want to get your quack on? Taste some of this.
Hi, Winston Giles here in Los Angeles, California from 1 Degree of Chunky B, and our artist of the week this week is Fascinator. Australian Johnny, now out of New York, and the song's called Mr. Caterpillar.
I'm Jay Flats, and this is 1 Degree of Chunky B. So sexy. Welcome back to 1 Degree of Chunky B. You're live in the garage of love.
Wow. Dude, what were we just talking about?
Welcome back, Cotter. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, real quick. Jay Flats in the garage of love. Jay, you know how much I dig you. Oh, look at it. Look at him whipping up the cup. Oh, nice. Look at that. Nice. Oh, man, you're hoisting the cup.
Yeah.
Jay, are you going to get a day or a second or a minute with the cup?
You don't want to know what I did to the cup 2 years ago. I'm
No.
not allowed to go back.
Yeah. No. Just by saying that, you got to tell us.
No. I have legal obligations. I'm not allowed to tell you what I
For
did.
legal reasons, you cannot discuss what you did to the cup?
I'm just kidding.
I know you are, you prick, you. Oh, man. All right, so the parade.
Yeah.
Bust it down. How'd your day start?
The 2014 Stanley Cup Championship LA Kings Downtown Parade.
Yeah.
The second one in 3 years.
Yep.
We get down there early because the fans start showing up when the sun comes up. They want to
Sure.
get their spot on the street. They want to get there. And, the police, they got it all barricaded off a little better than they did last time. Because last time, 2 years ago, they didn't expect 250,000 people to be downtown outside for this parade. So this year, there's lots and lots more police. Lots and more police. And, like, my thing, like, I've been doing it, like, even at the airport when the players come back and the fans greet them. like I've been skateboarding up and down the street, my longboard with the giant Kings flag. So I was doing that up and down Figueroa, right by Staples Center, for like almost an hour, skating around until finally, after passing like I don't know how many police officers, or how many dogs are in the studio.
I know. You keep talking. You know something? You didn't close that door. Yeah. All right, we're gonna keep talking. Our dog Lucy. We're not gonna. We don't have a camera, but she loves J Flats.
Whoa, that is a long tongue, Lucy. That is a long tongue. Yikes.
But you're all right. So you're skateboarding. You got the flag.
Oh yeah, skateboarding, and I must have passed 100 police officers, and everybody's like, "Oh, check this guy out. He's cool." But I got to one LAPD officer that was like, "Can't do this." I was like, "Come on, I'm Jay. I work for the team. I did this 2 years ago when we won." Well, this isn't 2 years ago. And I'm like, "Aw, officer." And I said this. I'm not making up what I said. I go, "Nice attitude."
You did. Now, did you have a pass to go?
Yeah, I got my lanyard and stuff, and like sometimes, you know, I ask for forgiveness instead of permission.
Of course, yeah. That's our business.
But like all the fans know me out there. Like, oh, there's Jay. There he is again on the skateboard. Like they know that I like ride my longboard skateboard outside the Staples Center. Or
but how come like one of your bosses didn't say, okay, listen, this is your job?
When LAPD tells you to stop, you just stop.
You stop.
You just stop. You just stop.
Okay, what about our mayor? What the fuck happened?
Man, I had a chance to meet Mayor Garcetti a couple weeks ago at Tom's Urban, which is what used to be ESPN Zone, and now it's this really cool bar called Tom's Urban.
Yeah.
And he had his own private party up there, and I met the mayor and took a picture of him. And you know, we all knew that he was going to do a speech and say something during the rally inside Staples Center, which was packed, 18,000 to the brim.
Now this is just past Monday.
This is Monday, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And so Garcetti comes up, gives a speech, you know, whose town is this? And the crowd's like, it's our town. Whose town? Our town. Like, he's very excited, very passionate about the Kings, passionate about L.A. And at the end of his speech, he just goes, well, I remember two things that I learned in politics. Like, and I'm not saying it word for word, but he basically said, you know, like, don't ever let him see you drink alcohol, and don't ever let him hear you swear. And he goes, but it's a great fucking day, and holds up a Bud Light. Like,
come on, you got to give the guy a little bit of credit on that.
Because when he came out, I'll admit to you, there's some cheering and some people that might not be a fan of the mayor. Everybody was cheering when he left. Yeah.
That is such a suck-ass move. In a good way, in a good way.
But he followed precedent because 2 years ago, Jonathan Quick came out and just turns around and goes, how about this fucking team? At the rally. So it's like, what's funny is like some of the players had said they were told, don't swear. And then the mayor comes out and he swears.
All right.
That's great. That's great.
Now, do you ever get to cross paths with the guys, the players?
With the players, yeah. I mean, we do a lot of events together. I actually just gave some prizes to Mike Richards' cousin on this game show that I'm hosting on airline flights.
Which we're going to get at?
Yeah. And I see a lot of the players at events and stuff, and like, you know, they're focused, especially during the playoffs. I don't talk to the guys. No way.
Right.
Especially at the arena on game day, do not mess with their mojo. These guys are pros at what they do.
Yep. So
it's not like I'm not gonna walk by, but it's just kind of like maybe like if there's a group of them, be like, hey boys, how you doing? Because they all say that to each other. Here we go, boys. Here we go. Yep. Here we go, boys. Come on, boys. Let's go, boys. So I just walk by, and I can call them boys because I'm 37. These guys are 20, 25. They might be millionaires, but they're still boys.
They're still boys.
You know, because they didn't have the original Tetris. You know, they didn't have that on the Game Boy.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. Because of other work, you could not grow a beard, right?
Yeah. 2 years ago, I grew a pretty good beard. And last year, I got a pretty good one. But because of other work. And sometimes fans call me out, where's your beard, man? And I'm like, I got 5 other jobs.
Yeah. And one of the jobs, and you guys got to listen to this. And can I bust that out?
Yeah.
All right. You guys know Cash Cab in New York, and they got a thing in Chicago, right? A guy, you jump into a cab, and the driver hosts his own game show. This is now done on an airplane, and Jay Flats is the host of it.
Yeah.
And I've got 100 questions, but break it down. That's accurate what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's pretty much like Cash Cab meets Price is Right meets Let's Make a Deal on a plane.
Okay, what if you have a passenger that just wants nothing to do with it? Are you interrupting a flight?
No, we've got so much space on the plane. There's areas in the front that they can just avoid it, but from like row 18 to the back, we're having a great time. I get people to applaud and cheer just like doing warm up on a TV show.
Right.
We get all the audience reactions up front. I get everybody to go, all right, so you all lost. Everybody go, oh, in 3, 2, and the whole plane goes, oh.
So you're getting audience reactions.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We need stuff to cut to later on. Yeah.
Right. And are they surprised or do they have an idea before they get on the flight?
When they show up to the airport that day, they find out their flight is going to be a game show. And most of our flights have been to Vegas, so people are like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
You were, like last time I talked to you, you went to Hawaii just the other day.
Yeah, I just got back from Hawaii.
Did you go to Alaska or something?
No. I've been to 49 states. I've spent the night and worked in 49 states, but I've never been to Alaska.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Are you digging it?
It's all a blur. I am digging it. It's all. We just did 32 episodes, and I don't know where it's gonna go. They're telling me certain stations, maybe September. I have no idea. But at a minimum, I just hosted 32 game shows at 35,000 feet. Something that no one's ever done.
You gotta admit, that's a first time.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't
a lot of damn work.
You know something? I can honestly say,
Yeah.
no one. I've never heard of anybody. You're breaking ground. You're blazing a path. You're up in a jet stream making TV that no one's ever done.
Yeah,
That's gotta feel good.
The director of photography is this great guy, Chris Kinsman, and he always looks at me and goes, "We're making history, Jay.
Right on.
We're making history."
Hey,
we are.
No, is the cabin pre-lit?
No. We still have to follow FAA regulations.
Yeah.
There's only certain things that we can do, like if there's turbulence and the seatbelt sign comes on, everybody's got to sit down. Everybody's got to sit down. But we can play turbulence games, which is designed for me to play with people nearby. So there's all kinds of different games. It's like, you know how on The Price is Right, there's like 20 different games. You don't know if they're going to play Plinko. You don't know if the Yodeler's going to come up.
Okay.
So, our producers put together what games we're going to play. Usually play 3-4 games, and then somebody gets to come and play the big deal at the end of the flight where they win like a VIP hotel suite somewhere on the Strip in Vegas.
Right. Explain some of the gifts.
Oh, it's like show tickets, dinners, hotel stays, helicopter tours of the Grand Canyon, pink Jeep tours in Hawaii, like just vacation packages. And it's not just one person winning, it's 1, 2, or 3 contestants. And sometimes it's like, okay, Chunky B, if you can get all 5 questions right, I'll give you $250, this awesome Nikon Coolpix camera, and everybody on board gets a bistro buffet pass at the Palms where everybody gets dinner on you.
Love it.
And so sometimes everybody's going, you got to get these right. You got to get them right.
Now, is it pre-produced like in a waiting room? Do you find out?
Well, I mean, we've got contestant producers on the ground, so when people show up,
yeah,
they chat. You try to get a sense if they're going to be good contestants or not, or like it's just it's like on The Price is Right. If you've got 15 military dudes, you're going to grab one of those military dudes.
A lot of people don't know over at CBS, it's all interviewed. Yeah. Everybody gets interviewed.
Every single person gets
before
interviewed.
That. Even though they don't know that they're going to be picked, the production company knows that they go, listen, that's a good one, that's a good one, that's a good one. That's what you guys are doing.
Yeah. And what's crazy is these are real people. They're not casted people that have got hair and makeup. These are just people on their way to Vegas. And some of them, having a good time in the terminal.
Right, sure. And you have, a couple cameras?
Yeah, we got 3 handheld cameras. We got locked in like GoPro cameras. We've got we got a great sound guy that's got hardwired mics on the plane, and with the cube with the logo of the show on it, and like it's a full on production. As soon as that fasten seatbelt sign goes off, we spring into action, and that plane turns into a game show set.
Is there like music in the house? Is there music in the cabin?
We've actually got little speakers that go back about 15 rows, so that everybody 15 rows away can hear. If I'm talking with a contestant, I need you to get this next question right. 15 rows back, they can hear it. And so it's like, sometimes the games are like, you're representing the left side of the plane, you're representing the right side of the plane. So every time you get one right, you could win something for everybody on the left side of the plane. So that, like, if you get one right on the left side, then the whole left side of the plane starts cheering, yay! And we got those cameras locked in that get all that.
How long is the production on up in the air?
Most of our flights, we have like 3 hours of flight time. So we did a lot of episodes from like South Bend, Indiana to Vegas.
So, okay, all right. So you were telling me Vegas, but you can't do LA to Vegas.
No, it's not enough time.
Right.
It would be like, hey, we've just we have time for one question.
That's our show.
And we're landing. Yeah, we're about to make our initial decision. I haven't even gotten to the answers yet.
Do you dig it? You see that going? You see it on television?
Yeah, I dig it. I think it's fun. I think it has a good chance. I just, where do you put it? I think you put it on right after The Price is Right. That's just me. That's just me.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, I mean that's the reason why I'm here. Is when I was a kid, I would watch The Price is Right with my grandmother, and literally, my inspiration to like move to LA or to Hollywood was because Bob Barker had the coolest job on the fucking planet.
Yes, he did.
He gave away other people's stuff.
Yep.
Not his own stuff.
And he made a shitload.
And he was surrounded by beautiful women all day.
Yeah.
And to me, I was like, that's it right there.
Speaking of beautiful women, what's I called you today, and you were laying on the grass at Griffith Park. How freaking nerdy does that sound? He's like, oh, I'm just getting some sunshine.
We had just hiked up Griffith Park to the observatory.
Yeah. With whom?
Just a friend of mine from New York. She's like, your friend Chunky B sounds crazy. I go, yeah, you should meet him. You should meet this guy.
When did you bring her?
She has to.
You were done? The afternoon was over?
No. She.
You told her to take a hike?
We just started hanging out. She's a nice girl. She's a nice girl.
Yeah.
Nice girl. Wink.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Yeah, no. She's a really nice girl. But
so are you trying to tell me as a personal, because all we're doing is talking about your jobs and how much fun it is and how much you're fucking taking over the nation, the world slowly. But what's the babe sitch? I mean, is there anyone that you have to text as you're like, well, I'm in Hawaii, I'm just calling in?
No, I'm a single guy. Like I'm very, like especially the last 6 months, I've been very busy. It's not even fair if I were to be in a relationship with somebody. I had to let my dog go. That's how busy I am. Like I couldn't even keep my dog.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you ever get a car yet?
No, I still don't have a car. I have a rental car outside.
How in the fuck do you?
I haven't had a car in LA in 7 years.
Wow.
Seriously, Wizard, do you know anybody in the world that doesn't have a car in Los Angeles?
Well, it's even more amazing now with Uber and Lyft and all that stuff. Like,
it's getting easier, isn't it?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if I need, like, if I'm doing something in particular, I just rent a car. There's a Midway rental car place down the street from my house. Love you guys at Midway. And
there we go, new sponsor.
They hook me up with deals, and I'm in there all the time. And I don't need a car all the time. Staples Center, I take the subway. I live on the block at Universal. I take the subway to work.
Oh, my God.
I'll get off at 7th and Fig.
Pretty good,
Skateboard the 4 blocks to Staples Center.
Oh, my God.
Love it.
How awesome is that? You know something? They're changing the rotation of the universe. When do I get to warm up for you?
Oh, well, I didn't know my first show would be on an airplane.
I can't believe that's awesome.
I always imagined my first game show, the live studio audience, a dressing room. You know, there's a hair and makeup staff. Like I had to do my own makeup on the show.
Sure.
They sent me to the Mac store to learn how to apply my own HD makeup.
No
Yeah,
way.
because there's no room for hair and makeup person for one guy.
Yeah, right,
you know?
right.
But it's like it's been an amazing run. I'm working with amazing people that have been in the business for really. Some people have been in business for a long time.
You mentioned names. We don't need to talk about them because
Yeah.
I think you're still under some confidentiality.
I'm working with some great people, and it's amazing.
I cannot.
It's a blur, though. I'll tell you that. It's a beep and blur. I just censored myself. That's not easy to do, by the way.
You know something? You can say fuck here. You can be the mayor. Check this out. Now, when you land into a city, and you've done a 3-hour flight, do they put you back on a flight that day? Are you like a flight attendant?
It depends. A lot of our schedule would be like I fly from LA to Vegas on Wednesday night. Thursday morning, I would fly to like South Bend, Indiana, and then when we get there, the passengers who are ready to go to Vegas are about to board, and sometimes I step into the terminal and just say, hey everybody, I'm Jay Flats. If you're on Allegiant Air Flight 463, please stand up and make some noise. And people make noise in the terminal at the airport.
You're warming up the pre-flight.
Some people don't think it's real. They don't think it's real. They're like, it is real.
Now, are cameras on you when you did a pre-warm-up?
Yeah. And we have permission to film in some airports we don't. We didn't have permission to film in Hawaii, so we did the opening of the show on the balcony of my hotel in Waikiki Beach.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Tough life.
You are the luckiest
Tough life.
motherfucker. Can you believe
but
this guy?
Sounds pretty nice.
But it's it might not make the air. Who knows? I have no idea.
That's
I'm sitting
not
on
the point. I don't give. Who gives a shit if it does or doesn't? Man, you got that in your pocket.
I'm sitting on a precipice, looking over, going, "Please air on television."
Yeah.
What's going on? Tell me what's down the pike. Do you want to get a dog? Do you want your dog back?
Right now, I'm in the process of figuring out my living situation because I've lived in the same apartment in Studio City for 13 years.
Oh my God.
As long as I've known you, I've been in that same apartment. And I look every 6 months at places, blah, 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 and I'm like, I should have moved downtown 10 years ago when it was half the price to get a loft downtown. And then I look at the South Bay stuff because I love Redondo, Manhattan Beach, all that stuff.
Well, that's where all the boys hang out, right?
The Kings
are you going? Is there a new parade tomorrow?
That was today. There was a parade with the Cup from Redondo Beach to Manhattan Beach, and then the Cup
was today?
Yep, and then the Cup's at Dodger Stadium tonight. This is what day are we doing this? Tuesday night? Yeah.
Is it Tuesday night?
Yeah.
Right. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Announcing. That's the one you think you would want to go to?
Yeah, I think I got a legitimate chance. I watched some of the best do it, night in and night out. Bob Miller told me that even if it's just taking a small microphone and going out to the Ontario Reign minor league games and just go out there and call your own games.
Yep.
Go out there and because I've done some demo stuff where I've been in the studio, with mics like this and just, and here comes the Kings. It was the end of the third period or the end of the second period, and I've done some fake announcing. And Bob's like, I can tell that you're in a studio. He goes, actually go to a game and do it.
Yeah.
So that's my next thing. Like,
you got to hear the story about Bob Costas.
Okay.
When he was doing exactly what you were planning on doing, he goes, he can only remember 2 names of each team. So it was like Smith and Johnson. They had the most phenomenal games of their life. Nobody else touched the pick.
Smith passes it to Smith. Smith to Johnson.
Yeah.
Johnson to Smith.
Yeah.
Johnson back to Smith.
Score.
There's some announcers that I love. Like there's a guy, Doc Emmerich, that does the NBC broadcast, and somehow he manages to find a way to make something as simple as a cross ice pass exciting. It'll be like, coming up in the zone, and it's a cross ice pass. And you're just sitting there going, that must have been the best cross ice pass ever.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But these old timers that I run into, these guys, what is it? Elephants never forget.
Yeah,
Is that what it is? These guys don't forget anything. They'll run into another broadcaster. Oh, hey, remember that junior AHL game in '84 when we were in New Haven and so and so played on the Nighthawks and he got too drunk that one night and fell off his skates? They're like,
Do you know I'm working with Jim Rome?
oh yeah,
Right. I'm warming up his thing on Showtime.
yeah, I did that once.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, I did it once.
And really? And you're not still doing it?
No, I did it once and then I don't think I was available the next time.
Right.
So they went.
They
went into the pipeline.
Yeah. But that's once a month.
Once a month. Yeah. I had a great time up there. I might have overstepped my boundaries.
With Rome?
Not with Rome, but just like there was supposed to be. You know how it is when they're like 5-minute break turns into half hour, 45 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And I just started going into my own spiel and
Right.
and I was having a great time with these college baseball kids sitting in the crowd, and I might have been a little dirty, a little too blue with my material, but I was like, it's showtime. Rome is swearing on the show. Yeah.
Right.
But they said they liked me, had a good time, but I wasn't available the second time.
Right.
And you know how it goes. You're not available once.
And you get,
Yeah.
Yep. And it's not a guy grabbing somebody else's gig.
No.
It's the producers sitting there saying, like, when I left Ferguson, I didn't, the guy didn't take my gig.
Right.
I lost my gig and they hired him.
Right.
So you can't be bitter about that. And I'm doing a full-on switchy because I'm looking at the clock. I want to know your opinion on that fucking puck that went up to the line at the.
Oh yeah, in New York during Game 4, playoff game,
and the puck went right up there in the slush.
The puck is, the Kings are trying to tie it up. They're trying to tie it up, and it's just a fluke. It's just a fluke, but there was a small pile of snow that stopped the puck from going in. It's just,
I've never seen anything like it.
It's a fluke thing. I mean, that I could see happening more than when the puck went off the net and then hit quick in the back during the regular season and they called it a goal. Did you see that one?
No.
Detroit game in Detroit. Puck goes out of bounds. It hits the net, but none of the officials saw it. It comes down square center on Quick's back, goes in the net. They call it a goal.
Wow.
The players are like, it hit the net. It hit the net. But it's not reviewable unless one of the officials saw it.
Wow.
Even though in every single review you look at, that puck gets knocked off the net. It changes direction. You're like, oh, it's out of bounds. But none of the officials saw it.
That's terrible.
So
the goal counted?
The goal counted.
Ugh.
And then the Kings lose in overtime.
How much did the Kings go through in the playoffs? Have you seen anything like it?
It's unbelievable. To go 7-0 in elimination games, that's your back up against the wall. As much drama as you can possibly make it.
But the drama was 0-3 with the
San
Sharks.
Jose, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That was like the third team in NHL history?
The fourth time in
Fourth
NHL
time.
history out of like 180 attempts.
Crazy.
Yeah. And I want to let you know, this is the most quiet Wizard's been.
Oh,
Wizard,
Knobs.
what's on your mind? Because normally he's going to ask something deep and emotional.
I just like hearing you guys talk. You guys have some great voices.
Well, I'm looking over and you call him knobs, but he doesn't have a single knob to turn. He doesn't.
Oh, these are knobs here.
There's-
See the
oh,
knobs?
I didn't see that.
Blocked.
I just see his hand on a laptop and start calling him keys.
Ooh, now you're onto something.
Are you watching us on that, or are you watching like an adult site or something?
Both. Well, I mean, I've
Split screen?
got a couple windows open. Don't worry about
He's
that.
on motherpucker.com.
I do have a question for you, Mr. Flats.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of Kings fans, I gotta say.
Okay.
I think a lot of these people have never seen a sporting event before in their life, and all of a sudden, now that these Kings are good, they start going to bars and start cheering for these Kings, and they have no idea how to watch sports.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have that. You're gonna have that element of bandwagon.
Yeah,
You're gonna have it. You're gonna have it.
It's pretty rough. So I guess it's not really a question, but I think that I'm ready to take on the Kings as my team.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
I'm from Phoenix. I'm Phoenix. All my teams are Phoenix teams, but I never got into the Coyotes because they suck. And
Yeah, no, you can
got
make
all kinds of issues.
You can make the switch.
But I'm ready to take on the Kings as a fan. I did love hockey growing up when I watched Lemieux and Yager.
Sure.
And then after the strike, I gave it up. I said, "Fuck this shit."
Yeah, a lot of fans felt that way.
But have you had any experiences with these, first time sports fans?
Yeah, it's
because they're hilarious to me. Like Lakers fans are bad enough, but this new revelation of the Kings fans, it's people who have never even probably seen a competitive chess before, and now they're Kings.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
You're talking about maybe possibly in the Staples Center or your appearances.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I'm sure
Yeah.
you would get it.
Well, when I first started, people didn't like me because it's changed. People don't like. They're so hockey fans are so superstitious.
Right.
So I remember seeing the first time I had an appearance where I showed up to a section and the other team scored. And this guy goes, "Yo, Seacrest, get the fuck out of the way!" And they're yelling at me like that's not an insult to me. Seacrest makes bazillions of dollars every year, but Seacrest.
I'll be Seacrest tomorrow.
Yes, I'll take one of his gigs. But there are diehard fans that have been around since the get-go.
Yeah.
And these are the fans that went through that 8-year drought where they didn't make the playoffs for 8 straight years before they hired Jay Flats. And the winning percentage with me, I don't have a single assist. I don't have a single goal. I don't have a check. I don't have a hit. I have no penalty minutes.
But
the record with the Kings, with me being there, is much better. Much better.
no, do they throw you down anything? Because of it being a championship, a Stanley Cup. Do you get a little bonus? You get a little any extra love?
I'm a day player. So the longer they play, the more I get paid.
Gotcha.
I'm not a salary guy. A lot of people I work with are salaries. So you stretch the playoffs to the middle of June. There's,
Right.
But that's just the nature of the beast. But there's a lot of fans that will they'll always defend me for some reason. Like if somebody says, "Oh, I don't like that Jay guy," and they're like, "You stop! He gave my kid a T-shirt," or
Sure.
So there's a lot of guys that make the memes. The photo memes with you take a picture and you put the letters on to saying whatever you want.
Sure.
And there's one of the funniest memes I've seen is a Jeff Foxworthy one. And you know how Jeff Foxworthy's always, if you
might be a redneck.
Yeah, exactly.
And it says, if you don't know who Jay Flats is, you're not a real Kings fan.
What do you say we pull the plug on that one right there?
Yeah,
pretty good.
Jay Flats, with all my heart, we're growing old together.
Oh, cheers.
All right. I want to say thank you to all my sponsors. And if you're in New York City, go see my brother at Statler Bar and Grill.
I met your brother, man. Remember?
Yeah, I know you met my brother.
Globetrotter game.
You got my nieces and nephews.
I
in
got
the
your
Globetrotters.
nieces and nephews into a Globetrotter game at where the Islanders play.
Right,
the
right, Nassau County.
Nassau County, which is they're not going to play hockey there anymore.
Yeah, right on. Go see my brother Tierney, and if you said you watched 1 Degree of Chunky B, he will buy your first beverage. It's at the Statler Bar and Grill in the Pennsylvania Hotel on 33rd and I think 2nd.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, near the Garden.
Yeah.
Wizard of the Knobs is an awesome individual. You're going to hear more about his life as time goes on. Jay Flats, I give you all of my heart and soul. You're a great man. I'm going old with you. I'm Chunky B. This is 1 Degree of Chunky B in the Garage of Love. Thank you for your awesomeness. Please spread the word of this.
I'll make love to you like you want me to.
Go, Jay, go. We are DONE.